Sitting in the cold. I should have coffee. Me. Okay, it should be. And then sign up. Oh Lord, which one is it? Go up, go down one. No, no, go up, go up, go up. Go up, go up.
Oh, there it is. There it is. What one is that? Both of them?
I don't know.
Oh, no, I got it.
Yeah, the MP3. Okay, that's the sound. Okay, thank you. What they all want me to be, and with their political views, I can't agree. No dice, I know eat lice, I know grow old, sitting in the cold, not reality. No way, they gonna have to beat me, they gonna have to eat me, all the heads for roll. Tell them I said, going on St. Croix, I gonna die on St. Croix, nobody gonna run me from where me come from, nobody gonna run me, lad, nobody gonna run me, nobody gonna run me. Nobody go run me. Me woman must yam. Me papa must yam. Me woman must yam. Me picky must yam. Nobody go run me. Nobody go run me. Well, there's like a CBC, work at Halcyon for free. When the West Bank crap and have no money. Because of my tolerance, they get me the assurance. The job belongs to me. But I hear some people hide in our society. They don't like my talent flow because they can't control me. So they plan to kick out my eye. Tell them, nothing no life. Yeah. I believe life. I gonna grow old, sitting in the cold, not be shorty. No way. All you have to beat me. All you have to bury me more than 6 feet and more. Tell them I say I was born in this land, I will die in this land. Nobody gonna run me from where we come from. Nobody gonna run me. Nobody gonna run me. Nobody gonna run me. Nobody gonna run me. Me woman must yam. Me papa must yam. Me woman must yam. Me picky must yam. Nobody gonna run me. Nobody gonna run me. He just said Jamila? Why you sound like he just said Jamila?
He said your name. Actually said Jamila. Absolutely. No, you just hear it now.
Tell them I don't live as down. I am going to sing my song exactly as
I swear to God, he just shut me out.
Of course he did.
okay.
I'm political enemy.
Who feel like they playing band?
I can run my life for me.
Tell them I am running away. Tell them that I'm running away.
I gonna eat life, I gonna grow old, sitting in the cold, not me. No way.
All you have to beat me. All you have to bury me more than 6 feet and more. Tell them I say I was born in this land, I will die in this land. Nobody gonna run me. From where we come from.
Nobody gonna run me, lad. Nobody gonna run me.
Nobody gonna run me, lad. Nobody gonna run me. Me mama must yam. Me papa must yam. Me woman must yam.
Okay.
Me woman must yam.
Yeah.
Hi, you're tuned in to Just
I'm
Jamila.
gonna disclaimer,
You know the rules.
please.
I talk about what I want to talk about until you call to change the subject. So call 773-0390 or 773-0490 and get to know and talk to me because I'm just Jamila.
views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views or opinions of WSDX, its owners, advertisers, employees, or management. Email us your comments at WSDX@VI Radio. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views or opinions of WSDX, its owners, advertisers, employees, or management. Email us your comments at WSDX@VI Radio. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views or opinions of WSDX, its owners, advertisers, employees, or management. Email us your comments at WSDX@VIRadio.com.
You're tuned in.
There it is. It's firing today.
Coming in hot, hot, hot. Firing some shot, shot, shot. Coming in red hot, hot, hot. It's a musical shot, shot, shot. I just clean up me nothing. I just do me barrel and I pop me hammer. Cause I come down pull me trigger. Hot, hot, hot.
Good morning.
Firing some shot, shot, shot.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me turn this down.
Coming in red hot, 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 hot.
One time for the one time. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing this lovely Saturday morning? It is Jamila Eve. Listen, tomorrow is my birthday.
Yay!
Yeah, tomorrow is my birthday. So it's Jamila Eve, you know? Yeah, so tomorrow is my birthday. And I just need to thank my mommy for not getting rid of me. I mean, she was young. She could have not keep me, but she did. So I need to thank my mama. Actually, I just need to thank my grandmother, right? Because my grandmother did not believe in abortion. With Isabel, I am so pro-choice. My grandmother clearly wasn't, and so I must be thankful for the fact that she was a staunch advocate for life. My grandmother, she was. So, so thank you, mommy, for having me, and thank you, Granny, up in heaven, for making sure that I made it to this earth. My angel. Jen, I horrible, right? So, so tomorrow is me and my cousin twin's birthday. We were born the same day. He's my first cousin, Francisco Soto. People here know him as Cisco. I call him Paquito, but people know him as Cisco. We've grown up. We were born together. My mom and his mom they were pregnant together. We were born on the same day. He's older than me, but we've been rocking life together ever since. So I want to say happy birthday to my cousin Paquito. You'll always be Paquito for me. Everybody. You want to play a happy birthday song for me? Which one it is? Oh, but I don't know the words to this.
All right.
Okay. Y'all know I don't sing what was, right? One more year. Let me look up the lyrics, please. Real from my heart, don't pretend to. Let me just say, that's me. Let me see. Which part is it? Let me see. Oh, Jesus. Okay, real from my heart. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, so y'all know I clearly don't know the words to this song. It wasn't Jamal. Jamal, I thought she was gonna play "Happy Birthday to Ya."
Yeah.
I know that one there, you
Oh.
know, but I didn't. You know, I was not ready for the busy signal. Thank you, Diane.
You'll call them.
Really? Oh, okay. Let me see. Hola. Morning.
Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Thanks.
Ms. Jamila Russell. I
Thank-
know tomorrow is the 8th, today's the 7th.
Yeah.
But I said, well, I wasn't sure if you were going to be doing your show.
Yeah.
I'm calling you from icy cold New York as you down there, Sunny and Sun and the Big Island of Santa Cruz. I had to run around this morning, so I said, well, let me call and say happy birthday to you before I hit these cold, icy streets up there. So,
Well, be safe up there.
God bless it. Yeah, well, I did both ice, Homeland Security, and ice at the street.
I know, so be careful. Yeah. All right.
But anyhow, I just thought to wish you a blessed happy birthday before I get my day started. So you take care and enjoy.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome.
Okay. Bye bye. Yeah. And you know, I'm not a big birthday person. Like I don't do a lot of things for my birthday. I just don't. And I typically don't tell people my age. But you know, the other day I did the math and I figured out how old I am and how old I'm gonna be. And then when I told people, they were like, "Oh, you don't look my age." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I can start telling people my age since I don't look my age, you know." But so I'm happy, and you know, God has been good to me, and I would be spitting in God's face if I wasn't thankful and grateful for the things that I have and for where I am and for the people that I have in my life, most especially. And I want to thank you, my listening audience, for rocking and rolling and just being with me. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm your cup of coffee, and I appreciate you so much. And for those of you who still don't like me, don't know me, and just don't like me, kick rocks, take a number, get to the back of the line. You know, you need a Jamila in your life. That's all I'm gonna say. But you know, I am so grateful. And last year was a really good year for me. And I want to, this year, as I look forward to the year ahead, and I'm hopeful that God will continue to protect me, guide me, lead me. I want to continue on my personal growth journey. And I want to continue to be able to bring truth to you guys from my perspective. You know, I'll give you the facts, give you my opinion, and hope that when I walk away from this, that I walk away leaving you with just some of the knowledge I may have, some of the thoughts that I may have, so that you can build on it, you can take away from it. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say. I don't expect everybody to like the things that I say, but what I say causes you to think, then I've done what I have set out to do, which is to invoke thought in our Virgin Islands. So that being said, I share birthday with some wonderful people. And I want to say happy birthday to Ricky Evangelista. People don't know this, and I probably spilled the beans today. I've known Ricky since high school. We've been friends since high school. I also want to say happy birthday to Mark Biggs. I've known Mark from elementary school, from when I was in elementary school. His sister and I were in class together. And also sharing birthday with us is Miss May Adams Cornwall. And I just think she's a cool human being. So I want to say happy birthday to them. And then I also want to say happy birthday to this my young friend and her twin. I met her. She's a Milligan. I call her Jamahalia, but that is not even her right name. But she's a twin, a Milligan. And she knows that I'm talking about her because I mispronounced her name. I gave her my own personal pet name for her, and she knows that whenever anybody says that name, that is Jamila. So her nickname is Maha. So if y'all see Maha out and about, just tell her I wish her and her twin God's richest and continuous blessings. All right. So that does it for me and the birthday flex. There's a lot of things happening in our Virgin Islands, and I want to share with you because I came up here prepared today. I'm gonna have a guest in my next hour, and when my guest gets here, I'm going to be doing some not so humble bragging about my baby sister. But you know, my thorn in my side, you know, I love her. Yeah, I love her, but lad, she disgusting. But I love her too bad. But when we'll do that when my guest gets here, because that would be the appropriate time to do so. And I want to read something to y'all. And I want to thank the author for writing it. Where is it? I tagged it. Okay. All right. It's an op-ed. And the title of the op-ed is When Morality Loses to Money. What Jeffrey Epstein's donations reveal about power in the Virgin Islands. A quote by Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm said, when morality comes up against profits, it is seldom that morality wins. This op-ed is written by Senator Maurice C. James, Esquire. It says, Shirley Chisholm's words feel uncomfortably prophetic when examining the Virgin Islands' relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. They capture in one sentence how money can eclipse conscience and how power, when lubricated by wealth, too often looks the other way. In the Virgin Islands, we often speak about protecting our children, preserving our culture, and honoring our values. Those words ring hollow if we are unwilling to examine moments when access to power appears to have outweighed moral clarity. There are moments in public life when silence becomes complicity. The relationship between money and political power in the Virgin Islands is one of those moments, especially when that money came from Jeffrey Epstein after he was known, convicted, and classified as a high-risk sex offender. By 2005, law enforcement in Palm Beach, Florida, was investigating Epstein after a parent reported that he had sexually abused her 14-year-old daughter. In 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty in Florida State Court to procuring a child for prostitution and soliciting prostitution. By 2009, he was a registered sex offender. In November 2011, he was classified as a level 3 sex offender, the highest risk category, indicating a serious threat to public safety and a high likelihood for reoffense. This was not melee. These facts were not secret. They were public. They were documented. They were known. Yet, even after Epstein's convictions and sex offender classification, his money continued to circulate, finding its way into political campaigns, social institutions, civic life, and circles of influence, including here in the Virgin Islands. That reality is not something we can dismiss as an excuse of how things were done. It requires reflection, especially from those entrusted with public leadership. That reality also raises an uncomfortable but necessary question. What does it say about a political culture when money matters more than morality? Campaign finance laws may allow contributions by many lawful sources, but legality is not the same as ethics. When elected officials or candidates accept money from a convicted sex offender, particularly one designated as a level 3 risk, the message sent to victims, parents, and the broader community is devastatingly clear. Access can be purchased, and accountability can be ignored. The real question is ethical. What does it say about a political culture when elected officials or candidates accept money from a convicted high-risk sex offender? The answer is deeply troubling. Money buys more than advertisements and campaign mailers. It buys access. It buys proximity to power. It buys silence. It creates comfort where discomfort should exist. And in the Virgin Islands, Epstein's money appears to have bought something else as well. A willingness to compartmentalize, to rationalize, and ultimately to ignore the human cost attached to his wealth. That is exactly the dynamic Chisholm warned about. When morality collides with profit, morality rarely wins. In the Virgin Islands, where our communities are close-knit and our children are precious, that moral failure cuts especially deep. We cannot credibly claim to protect children while benefiting from the resources of someone whose wealth was inseparable from documented harm to minors. We cannot claim moral leadership while accepting funds that carry such a heavy human cost. Epstein did not donate out of altruism. His giving was transactional. Like so many powerful figures before him, he used wealth strategically to secure legitimacy, influence, and insulation from scrutiny. When public officials accept that money, they become participants, whether knowingly or not, in a system that allowed abuse to continue unchecked for years. The harm is not theoretical. It lives with survivors whose trauma was minimized, with families who trusted institutions that failed them, and by a public that is left to wonder whose interest truly comes first. This is not about partisan blame or retroactive purity tests. It is about standards. It is about whether public officials believe that there are lines that should never be crossed, even when crossing them is legal, convenient, or profitable. Leaders who will say no, not because the law requires it, but because conscience demands it. In a Daily News weekly column dated February 15, 2019, writer Mariel Blake reflected on one such Virgin Islands leader who understood the true cost of power, the late Senator Ruby M. Rouse, a woman who knew how to say no. I remember watching Senator Rouse on television holding up a campaign contribution check she publicly refused to cash because, as she explained, she would not be beholden to anyone simply because they donated to her campaign. Ms. Blake noted that many who opposed Senator Rouse derisively labeled her firm principles a moral kick, a characterization Rouse wore as a badge of honor. That kind of integrity stands in stark contrast to how power is often wielded when money is allowed to dictate access and influence. It is especially sobering to confront this reality during Black History Month. Recent revelations that Jeffrey Epstein allegedly instructed recruiters not to approach girls of color using a racial slur to describe them force us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Despite our shared humanity, there are powerful people who view communities like ours as disposable, exploitable, or invisible. As a predominantly Black community, we must be clear-eyed about how people like Epstein sees us and why leaders like Ruby Rouse, who refuse to sell their conscience for money or favor, matter now more than ever. Public service is a public trust, not a transaction. In a community as small as ours, the acceptance of money is never just transactional. It carries meaning. It signals values. It tells people, especially parents and survivors, what matters and what can be overlooked. That the source of money matters as much as the amount. That there are some profits too costly to accept. Shirley Chisholm was right. Too often, Morality loses when it confronts profit. The Virgin Islands is not immune to that truth. But acknowledging that truth is the first step toward changing it. Reflection is not weakness, it is leadership. The Virgin Islands is not a place that prides itself on being anonymous. We are small by design, relational by nature, and bound together by shared history, shared schools, shared churches, and shared responsibility for one another's children. That closeness is our strength, but it also means that when we fail morally, we do so in ways that are deeply personal. If we are serious about protecting children, restoring public trust, and breaking the corrosive grip of money on politics, then we must be willing to say that some money comes at too high a cost. That public service is not just about winning elections, but about modeling the values we expect our children to live by. That there are moments when saying no matters more than the resources gained by saying yes. The Virgin Islands deserve leaders and a political culture that understands this distinction. Morality may not always win when it confronts profit, but it should never be absent from the conversation, and it should never be sacrificed without acknowledgement. That reflection is long overdue. Maurice C. James is a senator in the 36th Legislature of the Virgin Islands of the United States. She serves as the chair of the Committee on Disaster Recovery, Infrastructure, and Planning, and she is my friend. And I co-sign her op-ed 20,000 million thousand %. And yes, I made up that number. All right. So I appreciate the sentiments from Senator Maurice James. It's on the source. If y'all want to get it, I'm actually going to try to figure out how to, I'm going to share it to my page. I'm going to ask her if I can share it to my Facebook page, and I'll share it to my Facebook page so that you all can read it at your convenience. But this is a discussion that must be had. And I took my time to read that this morning. And before my guest gets here, I wanted to talk about it because it's important. And it's important for many reasons, because here in the Virgin Islands, we have selective media. We have media that don't want to touch stories. The Epstein drop came out, and the only circulated printed newspaper ran a story in there about Epstein and the politics of it with the Republicans and the Democrats and who names in it. Nationally, they ran a story, but didn't write about what's happening here in the Virgin Islands. And we all know that the Daily Nuisance don't align themselves with certain candidates, and it appears that the Daily Nuisance may in fact be lining up with the delegate to support her candidacy for governor, because we're not seeing anything about the delegates' involvement or other officials' involvement. My position is release the files. We have files here in the Virgin Islands that was subpoenaed by by Congress from the Attorney General here, and whatever the Attorney General submitted to Congress, I think that our Attorney General should present it to our news media. I have been made to understand that our news media here have requested under the Freedom of Information Act from a magistrate judge the files to be released. And they filed several times, and the magistrate judge in St. Thomas has denied it, claiming that it would bring harm to victims. I'm like, ma'am, those victims weren't Virgin Islanders. If Congress and all the other places ain't concerned about the victims, why are you protecting the victims here? Those victims aren't Virgin Islands victims. Unless you're saying that those files contain victims in the Virgin Islands that we have not known about and that the greater nation didn't know about, then that's something else. And if that is the case, that makes even a stronger case for the files to be released, because he was last here in the Virgin Islands before he got arrested, and some of those maybe victims can get justice because the statute of limitations haven't run out. So I don't know who the magistrate is trying to protect by not releasing the local information to our local media. But our local media needs to have those our local files released, and I am going to continue to say that every Saturday until they release it. Release the files, release our local files, release them here. We need them released. The telephone number to call. Oh, people want to know the number for the station. Oh, hi, Senator Lewis. 773-0390, 773-0490. Those are the numbers to call, right? And while our local media printed, let me rephrase that. While our only singular printed newspaper, I haven't seen anything about the latest Epstein file dump. Hold on. Good morning.
Good morning, Jamila. This is Senator Lewis.
Hi, Senator Lewis. How are you, my love?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I was telling the people last week that you have and I guess I could say to you publicly on the air with you on the phone. I told the listening audience, I think it was like 2 Saturdays ago, that working with you, I worked with you. I saw your work on a limited capacity when you were the St. Thomas administrator, but seeing you work in the legislature and your passion for the people, and a lot of people, and let me just say this, a lot of people be like, oh, he was in the administration, so he gonna be the water carrier for the administration. You have not been that. You stand on your own. You take positions that are opposite what people think that you are going to say. And when you give somebody your commitment and your word, you stand firm by that. And it's a breath of fresh air to see a senator who come in, took his time, learned the ropes, and just is so willing to work so hard for the people of the Virgin Islands. And I hope that the people of St. Thomas see you the way I see you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jamila, and I really hope so too. And I think the ultimate goal for all of us is to, show how we can make life better for the people of the Virgin Islands. Nobody want to work hard, nobody want to work smart and easier. So, we have to just try to implement ways. I think, it is in the 36th legislature, we've done some great things and we continue to make some great moves. Some people may not feel like it's moving at their speed, but I know, things take time to get, and you have to make sure things do correctly. You don't make things haphazardly. It's a second process, and you want to make sure that, that when it comes out into law, that it don't benefit one particular group, it benefits the mass.
Yes.
It benefit all. So
yes.
That's what we're trying to do. But I'm really proud of this week because this week we had Senator Bailey had his
Committee on Education.
With the Department of Education and Education and Workforce Development. And we had two great people there. We had Commissioner Jamila, Dr. Malloy, and we had Dr. Wells Hendrickson from the Department of Education. But one of the things I want to make clear to me is that this week the Commissioner made a clarion call to the community about children not coming to school, and she expressed about absenteeism. And the consortium put it out there that, about my comments. The one thing the consortium didn't include is that I said there's those who have legitimate excuses, actual excuses that to be present, whether it's whole day or half day in school. And then there's others that just violate and not come upon because they have the free will to do that, whatever their reason is. They might not coincide with the government, the school reasoning. But some that don't have legitimate reasons, and I sugarcoat in my comments. And I'm saying, and I will continue to say, that we cannot allow the children to make these decisions. We have to send them to school. Yes, some of the schools have issues. We know this. And we're working diligently to rectify these issues. But if their schools send them to school, because the one day they miss might be the one day of knowledge that they needed.
Yeah. And I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And that's my point. I've been an educator, I've been in a classroom. I could tell you some of the reasons. Now, yes, some of the schools have more, granted. Blame the school at that. Put in your claim, do what you have to do. But I have known, and this is the truth, and I'm going to continue continue to say. People don't keep their children home to my younger sisters, to go party, to do all kind of things. Those are not legitimate excuses.
Yeah.
And those are the people I'm talking about. And those are the children I'm concerned about, because I want every child in this country to be educated and strive to be their best.
I agree. And I think, and I think most people heard you.
Yes, and people twisted my comment. Because I also stated and said, well, maybe we need to bring them in some casted a blanket over everybody and saying, hey, all these people are upset. No, the ones who are habitual and continuous, let's bring them in and have that stern conversation with them. Maybe, and I also said, maybe we need to do some draconian measures. Listen, if you get benefits, and each year they come to school, we don't have to reduce your benefits. I'm not saying that was the key answer. But if states would make draconian measures to bring our children in school so they could be educated and so they could learn, because our education, our teachers delivering a product better or equal than those in those in the mainland. I have been in that system and I know what our teachers could do. And they're doing a great job day in, day out. I go protect the system. I go defend the teachers. I go defend the administrators. They're doing a very good job. And they do a good job protecting our children and our campus and things too. Yes, we have our flaws. I'm not negating that. Yes, we as legislators and the executive branch have our part to do. But for the most part, send the children to school. Let them know.
I agree, 200%. Yeah, they need to come to school. And I think that, you know, a lot of times reporters, and especially reporters, and I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it again, absent of Tom, Ida, and Isabel, and Marcelina, who to actually come into the legislature, I don't see any other news media actually coming into the building to pay attention to legislative committees, hearings, much less sessions. And the public needs to understand that what a news media is giving you is things that if you go back on the legislature channel, because everything is there, you can go back and you can watch the same thing that they see, that they are opining about and writing, right? When you're actually in the space, you can see how senators are moving around on the floor, who talking to who during whenever, who's on the camera, you know, because what you see on the television is just who's recognized. They're on the camera, you get to hear what they're saying, but there's 14 other people, or if it's a committee meeting, 6 other people moving around, having discussions that the public doesn't see because it's not, they're not on the television, they're not in the camera at that particular time. So when you want, and you're writing a story based on a playback that you listen to, then you do the community a disservice. And I think that, everybody who's writing about the legislature should have a beat reporter assigned to the legislature, having conversations with senators, seeing how things operate. And I'm going to discuss this when our guest gets here, because those things matter, because that's how people finally understand how relationships are had. When a senator says, the committee going into recess to discuss a bill, sometimes it's because they don't want to kill one of their, I'm for, let's do it on the floor. Like, let me have 2 more minutes to talk about why we want to vote for your bill. Let the public truly see, you know how I feel about that. Let the public, I really, like, I'm an advocate. There's a room in the legislature, like a caucus room. I'm like, we should put cameras up here in the caucus room so that the people can really see, like, what is be happening, but cameras aren't up in the caucus room for a reason, because that's a protected space. They, you can haul a bad word or 2 in the caucus space and then go back on the floor and then be good, right? But I think that sometimes people take your words out of context, and if people watch that the entirety of the hearing, your line of questioning was about, we need to get the students in, we need to get our students educated, and we can't continue to have students who don't maximize their educational potential. That was the gist of your line of questioning that day.
The gist of the whole thing. And again, commissioner who brought the fleet to us.
Yeah.
You know, we was coming there to look about that the overview of the construction and the future of construction in schools and construction and maintenance, right?
Yeah.
And Jamila, the department did a good job. Now we have to do our part. We have to put some skin in the game and provide some more monies and so forth, because we want when our children open those doors in August, you know, they have that wow effect. Is all schools going to be that superb? No, but we do have schools that is slated to start end of this month, February and early March, with heavy renovations. And it, you know, I'm going to say this now. Yes, it's going to cause some disturbance in and out of here, in and out of there, you know, but, you know, we're going to bear with it because we want brand new schools, we want modernized schools, and we want institutions that is conducive to learning and teaching, you know. So while I'm looking out for the children, I have to look out for the staff as well, too. Jamila, I was a pleasure to work with you and your senator, Clifford Joseph. I mean, my brother is awesome. You know, in my book, I give him thumbs up. You know, nothing I can't for, we could always relate. You know, it's always good to hear that different side of the coin, a different view. And it's always good to call you as well to get that different view, you know. Other senators in there too, I rely on. I know I can't do it all by myself. And I'm not trying to do it all by myself, and I'm not too afraid to ask the question. I'm not too afraid to beg for information, research, pick up the phone and call, go here and there, sit down to put myself in a place that could gain the knowledge and do what I have to do to make assertive and proper decisions. And I'll say this. I look forward to this service Saturday. I look forward to this.
Oh, thank you.
You know, a lot of times I agree. Sometimes it's so loud. I mean, like, I want to really can't agree.
I know. There have been times I've said things and you text me like, lad. Yeah. But I
still respect, and I look forward to your after this weekend. I look forward to your cultural cuisine and everything, you know.
Okay.
You know.
And I'll see you when you come over.
Yeah. And before you go, I just have to say this there.
Okay.
When we're talking about the media, I also have to include social media as well. We had such a young lady, cheerleader from, I think it's Complex of Central.
Yes.
Went away this weekend and came back with a silver medal. They got a snippet of attention.
Yeah.
But the damn fight get a whole week of disruption.
Yeah.
All kind of people sending you this, that.
Yeah, we don't highlight the positive.
Promoting our children.
Yes.
Our children get honor roll, our children make to NASA, our children doing great things.
I agree.
Excellent things for sis. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But the negative is what sells wrong. Let's start promoting our children. We see them all day with a little lemonade stand, a little cutlery board stand, whatever. Promote it, take a picture, say, hey, there's our homies, our young children doing the right thing. They're driving a big truck, a truck, or whatever it is. Promote them. Give them a sense of
I have to do the top of the hour. Senator.
You have a good day.
Okay. Okay, thanks. And he wanted to end with just promote our children top of the hour before Jen choked me off.
Turn you off out of it.
I know. It goes.
Stand up for compassion. Stand up for respect. Stand up for your
No problem. Okay, good.
Stand up for your
Okay.
Stand up for your values. WSDX FM 100.
I need a copy of Prada Me. Yeah. Hey, okay, and we're back. I had to do this station ID. If you guys are just tuning in, you're at 9:70 a.m. on your radio dial, WSTXradio.com. You're following me on my Facebook page, or you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. You need to subscribe to the official YouTube channel. It's just Jamila TV on YouTube. So get those. All of my videos will be posted to YouTube because Facebook has some weird rules where they delete files and you don't have access after a certain amount of time. So you guys know this year we're building and we're going to be moving. So if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, not only will you have access to what I say on air on Saturdays, but you're going to get additional programming stuff. So subscribe so that you can get additional content and we can discuss that there. All right, so I want to say that yes, several things happened this week with our cheerleaders. Listen, them little girls that catch me all the time. They have been fundraising. They was trying to teach me how to do a TikTok. You know, they sell typically they do fundraising down by the market. The market allows them to go there, and they've been there. And the little girls try to teach me to dance. I only know about the cheerleader girls because Karis' daughter is one of them. That's Jamal niece. I every time that little girl does something, I'd just, you know, you're inclined to support because, you know, she's just a wonderful kid. I don't even remember her name. I just know as Karis' daughter, you know, and so I'm sorry. But she's, you know, she's like a princess girl. She's done the Queen Show things. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about, man. Don't try to make me remember the child name. But they have done a wonderful job. So the little cheerleader girls, they had me dancing out in front of the market. You know, it's a good thing. You know, I told them we're not posting it because I would have gone viral for my lack of dancing abilities. All right. So we and what Senator Lewis is saying is that we need to start highlighting all of the good things that our children do, because our children do a lot of really fantastic, wonderful things and winning awards and placing in areas that, you know, we're not doing and we're not highlighting it. But the minute somebody got fight in school and it's videotaped, it goes viral. But it won't go viral that the cheerleaders did an awesome routine competing against so many schools from the mainland with so much more resources than they have, and they showed up, showed out, and showed themselves. And somebody is going to see, this is why I just have to love. Thank you, Auntie. Her name is Kasia. I could not read, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Kasia. Yes, Karis' daughter. People see, everybody knows who I was talking about. My auntie always does save me. Thank you, Auntie Mona. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yes, I'm holding to get on the ear.
You're on the ear.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, three things I would like to address quickly. I would first like to announce the hearing for Bill 36, that's 0211, that will be heard in the legislature hall on February 19th at 10 o'clock. I'm asking people to come out and show their interest, their support, or their favor against whatever on the 19th at 10 o'clock in the legislature hall. Second thing, there will be a town hall meeting on February 16th. That's the Monday, the last day of the fair. While you're at the fair in the afternoon, come down to 6 o'clock at the Rotary Building in West. That's a town hall meeting, 6 o'clock at the Rotary Building in West. And the last thing, Jamila, I'd like to touch on is to listen a little bit to the guy, I think Senator A.B. Lewis on education. Something to consider and take very seriously is removing cell phones from the school system, removing screens from the school system, and going back to books, literary papers.
Okay.
The reason I signed this is I had a discussion with a friend, and we were talking about safety. We should get that thing out of the school system and go back to the old way. And I Googled, I said, well, does it have any schools that don't use these screens? And I Googled it. And you know what I come up with? It have an article said the tech giants. These are the Googles, the Microsoft, all the big tech giants in Silicon Valley. They are sending their children to schools that do not use the screens, from whiteboards, computers, internet, everything. They wean them into it. In the teen age, 13, 14 years old, they wean them into it. They discourage their children from owning cell phones outside of school. And this social media thing, I think you know very much, Jamila, and everybody else know that these things are causing a lot of fights, disagreements, sexual activity, violence, and our children. Because when you see them in the phone, that's the kind of thing they're watching. And they're losing at a young age, 3 years old, the ability to focus on anything else but a moving screen. And I think until we start going back to settling them down and reading from a book and looking up at the blackboard, our children are lost.
I think that we could have a happy medium. I think that reading and writing is important. And I think that books matter. I like books. I prefer to read an actual book than to use my Kindle or my Apple Fire, with the Kindle app. I prefer to read an actual book. But I think that what I have found is that so many children can't write. And when I say can't write, I mean like they don't know. We stopped doing cursive. And even when they write in black letters, their penmanship is horrendous. And they can't write. If you told somebody to write a letter or a simple thank you note, most children can't write one because they don't write, and they can't. I think what has happened is that these devices take students away from being able to spell. Some of these children really can't spell because they text everything in short form to be able to read on a device that they can't spell. And if you can't spell, you can't read, I think, or read well. And so I think that you should have you can have a happy medium. I think that we do have to bring our students' attention back into a central area where the teacher is in command of a classroom and guiding the whole set of students. This whole idea of giving students a tablet and telling them learn and expecting them to learn, I think is a failure. I think that you have to have engagement in a classroom to really assess whether or not somebody's getting a subject matter. But I think that you could come to a happy medium. I don't think that anybody wants to go 100% backwards, but I think that to your point, maybe you start introducing it in small doses as they age progress throughout the school system.
Jamila, remember the Sankofa board and the Sankofa concept that you have to go back to move forward. The board turns its head back, which kind of thing suggests that you have to go back to move forward.
Okay.
And a happy medium, I hear you. I don't think it's going to work because the children are already so distracted with these devices.
Okay.
And it's like the alcoholic, when they put them in a rehab, they don't give them a little bit of alcohol. When they're feeling the withdrawal symptoms, they completely take it away from them. Okay. And then they get back the freedom to go and choose.
Okay.
Again.
Well, thanks for your thoughts. And again, what day is the town hall?
The town hall is February 16th.
February 16th.
6 p.m. at Rotary West Building. That's the white building behind the bar field with the yellow shutters. Can't miss it. Please come out.
All right.
You could come to the legislature session also on February 19th at 10 a.m. But the town hall February 16th at 6.
Okay. Thank you for the information. Have a good weekend. No problem.
You too.
Okay. All right. It's Jamila Eve. Good morning.
Good morning, Jamila. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was calling earlier this morning to wish you a happy Earth Day and to segue into your great-grandmother, Eulalie Rivera, and then to go to the writing of Attorney James. I just got back in a shot of the radio, and I heard the young lady that just called talking about education or non-education education of our children. Now, I had mentioned before, some months and months ago, how we were dealing with the use of cell phones or non-use of cell phones during that time in West Palm Beach and in Houston, and which was working. Even the children themselves embraced it, because particularly for the young men, their learning, attention and learning span improved tremendously. The big hindrance to it was the parents' death. Well, this thing, I need to be touching my child, something happened, and all this going on, and nonsense. So then it's right back to where it was. You could sit up there and they watch porn, and if you don't want to learn, that's your tail.
Try speeding up because my guest is here and I need to get to my guest.
Okay, good. You'll get to them. I'm going to leave it right now.
Okay, good.
But I'd just like to say that we are having a very hard time in filling the teachers' vacancies. Here in West Palm Beach, we have 103 in one county, in Palm Beach County, in pre-K to 8, in primary grade. Because teachers are saying, no, I am going home, I have enough of this. And how they learn, but somebody has got to teach them. We are in trouble, Jamila. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. Jen, I want to get Miss Sang queued up. So, ladies and gentlemen, so next week, my guest is here, and we have a long time. It's a lot of things to think about. I'm going to post Senator James's op-ed on all of my socials, so you can go to all of my socials. It'll be up later this evening for y'all to read it at your pleasure, and dissect it, do whatever you want to do with it. And so it'll be posted a little bit later. And I told y'all I have a guest, and I'm going to turn the camera to her. Isaiah, what gender?
For a second.
For a second, just so that she can introduce herself and tell us where she's from, and then I'll turn back the camera because I need the music. Yeah, I want to play the music. So let me turn the camera to my guest and say good morning.
Good morning.
And who are you?
Oh, I'm Tanya Marie Singh. I'm the CEO of the Virgin Islands Public Broadcasting System, otherwise known as WTJX.
Channel 12.
TV and WTJX FM, but we'll talk about TV here.
TV. All right, WTJX.
Channel 12. Yes.
Okay, so she doesn't want a camera on her, so we bring the camera back to me.
Yeah.
And it's my birthday, so y'all watch me for a little bit. Watch me for a little bit. No, I'm just joking.
Great.
Thank you. So do you.
I love your earrings.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna try to hit the gym.
Oh,
so I can look good like you.
Listen, let me tell you, I tried doing these things today. Let me tell you, I don't understand why exercise must be so hard. It is.
Perhaps if we stop driving everywhere and walk.
Yeah,
maybe it'll have a purpose.
Maybe, right? Maybe. But let me tell you. So I was trying to do some of these lifty things. Yeah, let me tell you. My hair hotting. I didn't even know you could hot something on the hair. Yeah. So why are you laughing? Jen is being the enemy today.
No.
Somebody says beautiful Miss Singh. Oh, okay. Yeah, she is beautiful. So Tanya Marie Singh is the executive producer of everything that comes on Channel 12. But before I start, spot for ad. You know how when you're watching a podcast and they're doing ads now? So spot for an ad. I want to remind y'all that tomorrow the Lady Rovers have a bake sale on my birthday from 9 to 1 in front of the market. It's a fundraiser for them to go to Orlando, Florida. And y'all know I like cake. I don't like any cake with jelly in between. So don't buy me no Vienna cake. But if you guys want to go and just buy my birthday cake from Lady Rovers and say, hey, Jamila's going to come and grab her cake, go and buy my cake from them. I'll be to the market around 12:30.
You wanted that.
I trying to raise the funds for the children.
Oh,
So At 12:30, I'll go by the market to pick up all my cake that you bought. Just go buy my cake, pay for the cake.
And how are you gonna distribute it?
The people don't need to know that. They just have to feel like they're buying me the cake.
Okay,
you know?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She,
go getting technical. I'm sorry.
it's super technical with this stuff, right?
I'm just trying to make sure you don't eat it.
We are redistributed to my stomach. But if you guys were under a rock, Channel 12 has been doing the Governor series, and it's been a minute in the making. And you have now released. This is your fourth.
Yes.
This is your fourth, and this is one on Dr. Charles W. Turnbull, right? What I'm going to do with those folks is we're doing a ad break because I want you guys to hear this beautiful music, and you're gonna hear this beautiful music, and when we come back from hearing the beautiful music, because Jenny wants to stand up over me to play the music, so we're gonna play the music, and then
So should we tell them what they're hearing first?
After.
Okay.
I want them to hear the beautiful music, and then y'all listen to this beautiful song. Let's go. This is a song. You muted it on Facebook.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It's because of the
It's okay. They'll be fine.
because I had it back.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Okay. If y'all wasn't hearing it on Facebook, but
no.
too bad.
Yes.
We'll try to
add
fit.
it, do it again.
Eh?
I can add it. I gotta. What I was trying to do.
Well, you could add it. You figure out what you need to do, and then I'll load it up another time. Yeah, we'll load it in, right?
Okay.
But tell us what we were hearing missing.
So
Sorry, you guys on Facebook didn't hear it, but I sound good. If you have to tell from my movements, but go ahead.
Is there?
It was there. No. Okay. Well, we figure it out.
It is
okay.
now.
Okay.
So in 2011,
Uh-huh.
we started our Governor series.
Okay.
Joan Harrigan Farrelly, former First Lady,
Mhm.
of the wife of Governor Alexander Farrelly. She came to Osbert Potter, who was the CEO of WTJX at the time, and asked that we do a documentary on her husband. And I was like, of course.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a young reporter, in my very early 20s, Governor Farrelly was the governor at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought the world of him, his intellect, his presence,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very excited to do it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things I did was reach out to Marsvin David,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't know Marsvin David, he's a local amazing musician. And I said, Marsvin, I want a Quelbe version of the Governor's Own. And he wrote and he arranged and produced and played bass guitar for what we just heard. The Quelbe version of the Governor's Own. So that's our theme song for the Governor's series. And I just want to big up the other people on the recording. Dimitri Pikey Copeman, he played alto sax, Raymond Galloway, guitar, and Casey Hendricks, the squash and the steel.
Okay, Jen. Okay, these Facebook people don't behave. Just play a little bit so they could hear just the intro. It was just
give them everything.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Facebook. Since y'all, oh my gosh, your Facebook people don't behave. Okay.
Right.
You guys have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have it.
So the Quelbe version of the Governor's Own. Of course, the original Governor's Own is written by Alton Adams.
Okay.
And our little connection with Alton Adams is that we are actually in St. Thomas. We've been displaced. We're still working on our Happies Hill facility, but in the interim, we are in the Alton Adams building. His office, his home, and just a magical place to be living in such a historic place. Working from such a historical place.
You remember Mr. Adams? You remember Alton Adams Jr.? Maybe he was a junior?
No.
He was on the architect, engineer, and land surveying board. You remember him?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's where he lived or worked. That's Hey, I know you didn't remember him.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so they produce this, and this is exclusively for all of the documentaries. That's the intro music.
Exclusively for WTJX. It's arranged and produced for WTJX specifically for this documentary series.
All right, and so so for those of you who don't know, so Tanya Singh is the executive producer, and that means she has the final stamp of approval. But the day-to-day, the producer, the writer, and the editor is my sister, Makita Russell. And I want to say, I looked at it from a very discerning eye because, as sisters, we have these kinds of conversations about what was missing, what did you think? And since Makita has stressed me out through her entire process, I was looking at it, and let me tell you, I had that big sister smile on my face from beginning to end. I was like, my sister knocked it out the park. The editing was really, really clean. The music matched the music matched what was happening on the screen. And I think y'all should send my sister and WTJX stuff to whatever national organization to get an award. Makita did an excellent job. The writing was good. Kenny Gittins have a voiceover voice.
Yes.
He can actually do voiceover work. His voice was good. I had to talk to Kenny Gittins every day.
No. So what happened is on the WTJX radio news feed, Kenny always sends us his voiceover because it's radio. We gotta hear you. So whenever he's telling his stories or about his press releases, he sends us voice. So we know Kenny has a good voice.
He has a good voice,
and he has good pacing. He has good inflection.
Yes,
he's not dull. So that contributed to. He's the best voiceover we've had so far. Actually,
that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And we've had some very good.
Yeah, and he was very good.
And he was the Governor Turnbull's chief of security for 7 years. So we like to do people who are connected somehow, and all our narrators have volunteered.
Wow, that's good.
So we don't pay them; they do it for the series.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So I want to thank Senator Gittins for doing it. So, and I want to say publicly, I'm so proud of Makita, and good job, Makita. You do good. My thorn. I call her my. Roses have thorns, and she's a rose, and she has thorns, so she's my thorn. Miss Singh is watching. Yeah, she disgusting. She does harass me, but I wouldn't trade her for the world. I love her. If anybody knows me,
talk about the film.
I loved it. Let me tell you. So for those of you who have not watched it, I want to tell you how you can watch it. Let me tell you how I don't watch it. I have YouTube, and on YouTube, if you put in the easiest way to find it, if you don't want to have to click on the Channel 12 thing, then go search through. Just put in Dr. Charles Turnbull documentary, and it'll be the second one that'll pop up.
Okay.
Or you can go to your WTJX app and
just go on YouTube. I think that's the best place to watch it right now because we've not uploaded it to the app yet.
Okay.
We want to do a lengthier open.
Okay.
So and then we'll upload it to the app.
Okay.
And you can also see this evening on WTJX Channel 12 at 8 p.m. and tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Okay, so the replay right before if
tonight.
Okay, and if you're not into the Super Bowl, you can watch instead of you have a lot of people who ain't into the Super Bowl. Yeah, me too. But if you do, people they'll be looking for something to watch. You can watch it. I really liked the documentary. I liked that you had actual footage of him talking about himself. He was being interviewed.
Yes.
I don't know if Channel 12 did that interview.
We did that.
Okay, you did that.
We did that some years ago.
Okay.
I met Dr. Turnbull for the first time, I think, after his tenure. I met him, I think, early into Albert Bryant's term.
Okay.
Maybe the first or the second year, because I actually was visiting Jimmy O'Brien at tourism when he was still there, and Governor Turnbull was there one day. I sat and spoke to him and made arrangements. I regret not doing the interview myself because it wasn't too in depth. But we're gonna rectify those things moving forward.
Okay. Yeah. But I thought it was an excellent documentary. I like the time spent about where he came from, his life in St. Thomas, his development through the government, and I particularly, as somebody who was around, and I think right around Turnbull's time, shortly before Turnbull, I had already begun to become politically active in the community. I had started to be on the radio already, and so it brought me back to some of the things that I was discussing back then, some of the topics that were very interesting. It reminded me of the birth of Positive Nelson, Terrence Nelson into Positive Nelson that people got to know. And it was very interesting. And I thought that the most interesting part of the documentary to me, as somebody who's deeply involved in these trenches here, was when you had former Senate President Usi Richards describing the vote. Because a lot of people, and I come up here on Saturdays and I try to explain to people how the legislature to work, how votes to work, how somebody might be present and they step off the floor for a vote, or if they're on the floor and they're silent, they're marked as not voting. But if they step off the floor, they're marked as absent. And that if you don't want something to move, and if a senator, there's so many political maneuvers that you can have in order to stop something, promote something, and you have to understand the rules of the institution. And I haven't been seeing how senators in recent times use the tools of parliamentary procedures to be able to advocate for measures that they want to advocate for, or to kill things that they don't support. And when I heard Senator Usi Richards say, we wasn't going on the floor, we were in my office chilling until somebody till John Baptiste said he wanted to go to the bathroom, and then the next thing you know, he was on the floor. And the minute he steps on the floor and they do a quorum call, once you're marked as present and they do a quorum call and they take something to a vote, you hold on, then things happen. You good? On the radio. I'm gonna text it to you if I have it. Okay, bye. Okay, so that's Auntie Jerry, and if Auntie Jerry's calling, it's for something. Y'all have to hold on for 1 second because I have to do something for my aunt right away. And yeah, so I like that. So it was amazing.
Well, it was interesting because he wasn't intended to be in the documentary in the first place.
Oh wow, how did that come about?
Well, I got the documentary on Friday, so we aired it Thursday, and I got it the Friday before, last week Friday. Okay. And when I was reviewing it, I called Makida's supervisor and I said, hey, some of this music we need to change, right? And so we spent Sunday about 5.5 hours together, me, him, and her, and we corrected some of the a lot of the music actually. Okay. Which improved the pacing. Okay. Because it's a 19-minute documentary, and so you gotta keep people's interest. And when we got to this part where one of Turnbull's cabinet members were talking about the Act 6905, where how she depicted it, it wasn't his choice to receive an increase to $150,000. And we were like, that don't sound right.
Yeah, we don't remember it like that.
And so we called Roosevelt David, who was the majority leader at the time. And we tried to get him back in the studio. He was part of the documentary before, but he did not speak about this portion because he was like, of course he knew. And then I called Usi and I was like, you were in the Senate. What were you doing? And he told me his story. So we got them both in. We had to re-interview Usi because we had a technical issue the day before the documentary aired.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of last minute, but a good addition because it balances what was said and gave perspective. And as you're talking about, showing the politics behind.
Yeah, and it's important because I think that sometimes, and I don't want to delve into what's happening other places, but you have to step back from the present and then allow both sides of a story to be told.
Absolutely.
It can't be just everything wonderful. It has to have, and I'm glad that the documentary included the protest. I'm glad that the documentary showed that when he was talking, people was making noise. I mean, he handled it, and I'm glad that you put it in for two reasons. The first being that immediately after him, immediately prior to him was Schneider, and Schneider didn't handle criticism in the same way. And whenever his documentary come up, that will happen. But it showed that he was a different type of leader. Okay, y'all protesting. I'm going to continue to do my stuff, but I'm not going to have the police go and tear gas you and drag you from the street and tell you can't do it. And I thought it showed a level of maturity on positives part where he said he didn't realize in the moment how distracting his behavior may have been.
Well, I also want to interrupt, Jamila. We'd like to, one of the difficulties in doing these documentaries are getting people to speak on camera. They may have opposed the governor at the time in real time. But when you are set to document something that hopefully will last for all time, they don't want to be a part of that. They don't want to speak their truth. They want to speak their truth on the street.
Yeah.
But not in a documentary. And
that does a disservice to our people.
Absolutely.
And
because it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. One of the things I heard after we premiered the documentary was someone saying we shouldn't have aired out what happened between Governor Turnbull and his first lieutenant governor. Well, how in the world do you get from the first administration with him as a team with Luz to him being with Vargrave in the second term? How do you do that? We can't just continue to romanticize events to how we want them.
And we can't have revisionist history. Everybody knew that he and Luz fell out. A lot of people and the public and so many people want to know the real truth from Luz's perspective.
That's my only regret, that he would not speak to us.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, I think I saw him one time and he said he writing a book or he gonna tell his own story. So I'm hoping that he does, because I think that people need to hear, because we heard from Jimmy, we heard from Miss Malloy, Jimmy O'Brien and Miss Malloy, what they perceived the issue to be.
Right.
But from G. Luz, he may have another issue that we don't know about, and only he can tell us what his truth is and what he experienced within their administration. And so I'm glad that you did, and like I said, and I like that, and I also, people need to understand the amount of work and Charles Turnbull, and I think sometimes history to validate you or victory to vindicate you, however the phrase is. I don't remember the phrase, right? And we did have payless paydays under Turnbull, and immediately after Turnbull was governor, we then had John DeYoung, right? It went from Turnbull to John DeYoung, right? And Turnbull inherited a government that was $345 million in the deficit. I remember, and then you right. And when he turned over the government the first year for DeYoung, he was turning it over with a surplus, right? And I can't wait until that DeYoung documentary gets done, because I think we as a people need to firmly understand how you go from having money in the bank, right, to dwindling it all. And I mean, we know that the Great Recession happened, and they're going to and Hovenza closed under John DeYoung. But as a government, I want to know what thought went into what were the pivots to try to save us from having a deficit. And so I'm waiting to see their documentary, because by the time John DeYoung, like I said, I was already in politics with Turnbull. And by the time John DeYoung had become governor, I was like water over my head involved in the political arena. And I remember things that I want to see how they're going to craft it, and what their rationale was, how they're going to remember their rationale to have been in a particular moment in time. So
one of the things I also want to talk about, Jamila, is being the ability for the station to be fearless in telling stories. And of course, on the national scene, you know that President Trump has defunded the Corporation of Public Broadcasting that feeds NPR station and television, PBS stations federal funding. And we lost about $1.4 million when he defunded the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And so that has been very difficult for us. I want to especially thank the Senate. They bridged the gap somewhat, and we are so very grateful. And I just want to make that clear that 4 days ago, the President Trump said that NPR and PBS has closed. They have not closed. We're still here. And we are here telling our stories, telling Virgin Islander stories, being fearless about it through the support in major part from the legislature and the support of the executive branch as well.
Yeah. And I want to urge the public, and it's so important for the public to know that, you know, the news that you put on, because you do have a news program, your Facebook, your documentary, your ability to do these things have to come without fear that one particular politician isn't going to be in their feelings, and as a result of being in their feelings, like Trump was, try to hamstring the station. And so we need for the public to be aware and to support our public broadcasting system, because you're a not-for-profit organization, you're our public broadcasting station, and the intent of the broadcasting station is to provide news and services to the public. And without that support from our community, and without the protection of our community to ensure that no one politician can stifle you out, we need to get that message out there so that the public can know. All right, because of one politician, you already lose $1.5 million. We can't have petty, not knowing how to take blows politicians trying to hamstring the station. All right, but I thought the documentary was excellent. And are you guys working on any other documentaries?
Yes, actually, I'm so glad you mentioned that before, because I forgot. We actually have a new email. We just created an email address, thegovernors@wtjx.org. That is thegovernors@wtjx.org.
Okay.
And what we're encouraging people is to, if you have any photos, video, anything regarding the upcoming governors that we're doing, Schneider, Louis, Mapp, DeYoung, and Governor Bryan, please send it to us.
Okay.
Especially the Governor Bryan has such a wealth of images and video. He's really the governor that has the most volume of electronic media, I would say. And so I don't see a problem with him, but it's those pre-hurricane governors, you know, the Hugo, the Marilyn, the Irma Maria, that we have issues finding documents, court documents, whatever it is. And so if you would like to be part of these documentaries, if you have a story to tell, email us at thegovernors@wtjx.org.
Okay.
Send us your pictures, your video, your story.
All right, that's a good thing. And so so you're currently, do you have a timeline on when your next documentary for your next governor will be?
I'm hoping to do Schneider's next year.
Okay.
This year is an election year, so WTJX is going to be inundated with election stuff.
Okay.
And in between, we'll be doing some research.
Okay.
And collecting these videos that we hopefully use. You guys will send us, and digitizing everything. We've already started digitizing stuff for Governor Bryan already.
Okay.
And making sure we have all his press conferences.
Okay.
And because, as you said earlier, Facebook takes down your live after a certain amount of days, and sometimes Facebook is the only place they put it. You didn't put it on YouTube. So we're just trying to accumulate all that stuff.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult. And I think that, Channel 12, WTJX, the entire PBS platform here in the Virgin Islands, you've been doing a
and we're working on our own archives. As you saw in that documentary, our archives have been compromised from Irma Maria. We found a vendor that will digitize and restore them. So what we did was we just looked at all the boxes and tried to find all the tapes with Turnbull and ship them out early and get them back at our own expense. And then we're hopefully by this year, we would have completed the restoration of everything.
Okay.
So if we have any old footage of these, yes.
Yeah, and you should have, and then, because you found your old Addy shows.
Yeah, and so it's just that, just to make sure that those can be digitized and restored. So it's not all.
Not all. So unfortunately, some will be lost. Okay, so what else is being thought of in what else are you producing in channel? I know you said that you're doing, this is election year. Are you going to be doing like a Meet the Candidate series or something?
I suspect, I haven't heard from them yet, but I suspect we'll be doing our Meet the Candidates with the League of Women Voters.
I don't like that programming. I'm just, that's not something I particularly.
What do you suggest instead?
I don't, I think that the Meet the Candidates with the League of Women Voters, it's like, like surface level, no meaningful question, no meaningful
well, if anybody is listening,
no meaningful dialogue,
bring, something to the station, bring it.
I hope you get something from some people. I do have some ideas.
I'm excited about our debate or forums or whatever they want to call it.
I think that I really hope that the whoever the candidates are agree to a true debate where you ask somebody a question and for 15 minutes you talk on this subject. The proponent gets the first 5 minutes. Whoever else is up there, you get 2 minutes to respond. And then if you call a person name, the person gets to interject.
Have straight debates.
I feel,
but you're talking in the primary. We don't get debates. We get forums. That's what the candidates agree to.
Which don't make no sense.
When it goes out for the general election, that's when we have debates.
Yeah, well, we need debates because
our debates are good.
But them thing is like, I ain't gonna even watch it because you're in a forum, you asking, what you gonna do about electricity? I gonna bring down WAPA. No, and that's why I told somebody the other day. Somebody said, when Senator Maurice James, who often thinks outside the box, she had a senator justify their position. I'm like, that's how they do it in Congress. Like, you get up and you talk about your bill and you defend your bill. And you say, this whole bunch of, why am I've never understood this. I write in a bill. This is my idea. Why am I calling you in for you to tell me about my bill? Yes, you can share thoughts on how you can make it better, but you should, my bill, I should be telling you what I want. This is why I'm writing the bill. Like, when I drafted the Bureau of School Construction, I told them the other day, I said, if y'all have confusion about what y'all supposed to be doing, call me. I write the bill. I know what the intent of the bill was, and it certainly ain't hiring all of these people for a whole bunch of money. But I think that we don't, in the Virgin Islands, when we think of a debate, people think of people that want to hold grudge for people.
So I want to go back to where we were talking about women's voters for a minute. And the good thing about the League of Women Voters is they're a national organization and they have their rules, right? When you give some other organizations an opportunity to hold a forum, like meet the candidates, in that, we're such a small community, in that organization, you're going to see people that support individual candidates. And it is not fair and it is not right that they come and ask other candidates, because they may have a personal agenda, because they are naturally supporting other candidates. So just want to give that caveat. If you're coming to us to try to hold something like that, you must not have any political affiliation whatsoever. The League of Women Voters, they have their national procedures and they abide by that. So we are confident in them as partners. But you just can't roll out of bed and say,
No, I understand that, but I'm saying I think that they change up the platform. I mean, the organization of the debate, I think, needs to come. It needs to be different.
Well,
or like what they did on the national level. Do have the candidates, and what you can do is have the candidates, and then you can have the media down below, and have members of the media question each candidates. And have the candidates answer on live TV questions from. But the problem is we don't have any true media.
Also, more people need to join the League of Women Voters. They accept males too. So if we have younger and more, intuitive people that want to join, they can be in the League of Women Voters asking these questions as well, and helping formulate.
All right. The VI 340 Comics asked a question for me to ask you. They want to know if you have the old Senate hearings that was on WTJX Public Broadcasting System Facebook. I'll bring a HD to get those copies.
I'll look for the comment and respond.
Yeah, because I don't know if you have those. Were you able to save? Okay. Oh, he says the lives are being lost.
Yes. So
yeah.
So we've been calling Government House to. I think your sister have been calling to make sure we get all of them before, they leave office, and we don't know.
And then we don't know where they go. Yeah. All right.
So they used to stream it on YouTube also, but which
would save it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not there.
Yeah.
They didn't do all of them on YouTube, so we're trying to rescue those.
Okay.
For us.
And I think the legislature had another platform, because he's asking you for the Senate hearings. The legislature had another platform, because I had access to it, where they used to stream it, and you had to have a password to get in, and I had it because I worked there. I'm trying to remember now, but the legislature should have those. Dr. Kirujo A. King Espada
Boss man
says, "Hey Tanya, hey Jamila, hey, how are you guys doing? How are you?" But again, tell them where they can watch the Dr. Turnbull documentary tonight.
Tonight and tomorrow night. That's on WTJX TV channel 12.
Tonight at 8, tomorrow at 7
Yes, ma'am.
on channel 12.
And you can go on YouTube, just
Hey,
Google
good.
search WTJX YouTube, and you see our channel.
And it's there, and you can go back, and they have some good stuff on their channel. I want to thank you for coming in. Before I finish though, Jen, I want to offer my deepest condolences to the family of Dr. Ralph D. Shabert. That is the man as I celebrate Jamila's Eve going into my birthday tomorrow. That is the doctor that delivered me. Jamila's Eve, yeah. Today's Jamila's Eve. Yeah. I want to say, condolences to his family. He delivered me. My mother was not a good patient, and when he left me, he went to my aunt, and my aunt he left my mother because my mother was jumping up and down the bed and wasn't ready to have birth with me. They said they could hear my mother all the way to St. Thomas. And then my aunt gave birth to my cousin, and she was pieced to the dead, had my cousin come out, and then when he come back to deliver me, my mother was still jumping up and down the bed.
What kind of personality your cousin has?
Paquito? He's laid back.
Oh, so it's in the birth.
It's in the birth.
Yeah,
my mother my mother traumatized me from birth. That's why I am the way I am, right? But I want to offer condolences to Dr. Shabert. He gave birth to a lot of people. He was a pillar in this community. And I also want to offer condolences to Senator Franklin Johnson on the passing of his daughter Siobhan, and to Juanita Eastman Joseph. That's her mother. Juanita was from Building 7 in Harrigan Court. I grew up in Harrigan Court. I have known Siobhan from the time she was born. She is family. The Harrigan community mourns her loss, and I want to extend my condolences to her entire family circle. This was so unexpected, and the people, although Harrigan isn't physically there any longer, those of us who grew up there, we're still Harrigan massive to the core, and we extend our deepest condolences to the family of Siobhan Johnson.
It is painful to outlive your child.
It is, and I don't wish that on anybody, and so I extend my condolences. So if you guys see, her dad, just extend condolences, and to her mom, if you see her mom, extend condolences to Juanita and to Juanita's husband, Peachtree. On that note, I don't know how to be anybody but Jamila. I love being Jamila, and I am going to go enjoy Jamila's Eve. And tomorrow I'm going to be at Ultra Lounge watching the football game. So if y'all want to see me, I'll be at the Ultra Lounge with my husband, Ronell. So my husband tell me come by. So I'm going to visit my husband tomorrow at Ultra Lounge. Until next week, Saturday. Bye-bye.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, then, Jen, I can't have a husband?
Of course you can.